what would you say is one situation where office politics tripped you up a little early in your career?
I'm not able to understand you because I am having a skill set, but still the person is getting favoritism.
There was a film a few years ago. Actually, I didn't get the job. I understood that fact that the producer and Mr. Bachchan somewhere knew that person and heard of that person.
So in one of my company, I have a very bitter experience there. I was victim of this politics.
How do you navigate the messy, sometimes treacherous waters of office politics? A very warm welcome to everybody attending, to our panelists and our audience for today. This is the Thought Leader Coach Consultant podcast, and I'm very, very excited to bring to you one of our first ones. And today we're going to be diving into two topics that I think hit at the core of personal and professional growth. The first topic is, why should you hire a coach? And how do you navigate the messy, sometimes treacherous waters of office politics? We have our 5 panelists. Before that, let me also introduce myself. My name is Sanjeev Datta. I'm the director of Sanjeev Datta Personality School and have been for the last 8 years. I come from an educational background of psychology, specifically applied psychology, where I specialize in organizational behavior. And today we have our 5 panelists. One by one, I will be asking you to tell us your name, your profession, and what drew you to the Thought Leader Coach Consultant course. Okay, let's start with Miss Maya Chakravarti. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Miss Anika, for such a beautiful introduction. It was lovely knowing about yourself, plus, a chance to share our views. Yeah, I'm a retired officer from Government of India, and this is my second innings, as Sanjeev sir keeps referring to it. And yes,
what drew you to the course?
Yeah, I came to this course to, to transit smoothly from the government job to the private sector, the corporate world. So I wanted to, fill up those small gaps, if there were any, in my approach to to my future contacts, my people whom I may be dealing in the private world. And I wanted to know how different it is from the protocol which we are generally used to throughout my previous innings.
Perfect.
And it has helped me tremendously and it has made me come out with many of my inborn qualities, which I thought I never had. And now I can relate to them. And, oh, this is there in me. I mean, it's easier for me to relate in a much better way. So this is how this 1% personality school has brought out the best in me. And I think it's going to bring out much better things in my personality. So this was my...
That's so wonderful to hear. All right. Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction. I will move forward to Mr. Sachin Khurana here. So if you can tell us more about yourself, your profession, and what drew you to the Thought Leader Coach Consultant course.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you, Anika. Lovely to hear about you as well. And well, I've been a former Mr. India. I used to be a model in the 90s. And then I became Mr. India. You know, I just went to groom myself, and as luck would have it, the stars were all clear out for me to become Mr. India, and then I got the chance to represent India in Best Model of the World and Mr. World as well. I was the first guy to represent India in those 2 contests. Thank you. So the whole idea for me to join this was basically that, I've always worked with the best designers in the country, worked with a lot of great choreographers, groomers. In fact, I was groomed in Singapore by a gentleman called Alex Liu in the 1996. In fact, he discovered supermodels like Naomi Campbell and stuff and other people. So he was the one who groomed me that time in the 90s. So the whole idea was that, I have had so much knowledge about grooming, about working in designers. And I learned more about grooming and personality development. In fact, I became a brand ambassador for Air India and Amway. And with Amway, I used to talk about male grooming to a lot of people all over the country. But the whole idea was to, get ahead in the coaching scenario, because I wanted to share my knowledge. And without getting complete knowledge, it's always a half cookie. You can't share a half cookie. It'll be broken down even further. You'll not know much to share. So the whole idea was to get into a coaching program to learn more about it and eventually be a coach, because that's a passion, to share knowledge, to see people succeed in their lives.
Beautifully put. All right. Welcome to the podcast. We're so happy to have you. Let's move on to Mr. Jaswant Singh. So if you can tell us a little bit more about yourself and what drew you to the Thought Leader Coach Consultant course.
Thank you so much, Anika. Thank you very much. So I am Jaswant Singh. I am a chartered accountant and working as a head of audit, tax and compliance with a brilliant company, DHL Logistics. So my areas of interest is passionate and about mentoring and equipping others with financial knowledge. So I understand a lot of knowledge I'm carrying, but I don't know how to make others equipping with that knowledge. So that's how I joined Sanjeev Datta classes. So I was like working in silos before, but I was so much interested in doing that and coaching others also with whatever knowledge I'm having today. Okay, so that's how I've been enjoying this course, and I feel there is so much change from working from silos to now working with a lot of my teams, the overall large picture with the large organization with different departments, and here as well with Sanjeev, with a lot of friends I made with while doing this course. Yeah, thank you so
Your
much.
energy is contagious, and I think all of us can agree. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Singh. Moving on to Ms. Chavi Mehta.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and lovely knowing everybody in the panel today. The way we speak to our children becomes their inner voices. And I'm Chavi Mehta, an author, a parenting coach, founder of Young Authors Launchpad. And what I basically do is I empower parents to raise confident, expressive children who just trust their voices and share their voices with the world. I've always believed that success isn't just only about talent. It's about having the right guidance. And sometimes I've also realized that a coach also needs a coach. So that's my personal experience. And this coaching which I took from Mr. Sanjeev Datta has been a game changer for me, for my career, for my personal growth, for my leadership skills. And that is why I'm here. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Amazing. All right. And I believe Mr. Yuvraj Thage, go right ahead.
Yes, thank you, Anika, and great to see all the introductions. My name is Yuvraj Thage, and I belong to City of Dreams and Energy, Mumbai. Currently working as a vice president with leading financial institution and helping people to avail easy finance to purchase dream homes. I generally joined this course because I firmly believe that success is everybody's birthright. And hence my mission in life is to happily and passionately inspire people through success education and empower to them to take effective and efficient action. So in free time, I mentor a lot of people topics such as goal setting, decision making, time management, personality development, personal finance. So one of the main reasons I have joined is because my mission is already aligned with Sanjeev sir's mission, and probably since I'm just doing a startup, I also need some good coach. And Sanjeev Datta's program is totally it's total practical thing. There is no theory, it's total practical and only action. So I believe in action because life is all about growth, and growth happens only when we take action. So in one short, I will say I'm here to sharpening my personality again so that I can share with all my mentees. Thank you.
Well, that's amazing. All right. Thank you for all your wonderful introductions. I think that was so insightful to get to know you a little bit better and to establish your credibility in front of our audience as well. Now I move on to our discussion and why we're here today. My first question to all of you, our panelists: why should you hire a coach? Right? Now we know that even Michael Jordan had Tim Grover, who helped him elevate his physical performance. He pushed him beyond his natural talent. We know that Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, as well as Bill Gates, have one coach, the coach of the Silicon Valley, Bill Campbell, who made them, who said, even Schmidt said that everyone needs a coach. Bill Gates said everyone needs a coach. This person, Bill Campbell, enabled both of these CEOs to get their tech companies to a global level, right? So would you agree with that statement? Why should you hire a coach? I'm going to start with Sachin here. Sachin, what are your views on this topic?
I think absolutely. I think everyone does need a coach. Basically, coaching helps us give clarity, and it helps us get the correct path, the shortest path to reach our goals. Otherwise, if we need to go from point A to point B, we'll be swirling around, going around point A, back to point A, back to B, C, everywhere, but not where we need to go. The correct path is defined here, and it gives us accountability. This is where we are going towards, and this is what we are doing about it, and which absolutely leads to personal and professional growth. It helps us, smoothen all the bumps that come across the way. There will be bumps in everybody's life. Nobody can eradicate them, but they can be smoothened. A coach would help us do that.
Superb. What an amazing viewpoint. Providing the shortest way to success. That is what Mr. Khurana thinks. Let's move to Ms. Maya Chakravarti here. What are your views on this?
I think we are coming from a I know it all concept to specialization. So there was a time where it was a one-stop solution. One person supposed to be knowing everything. But now the world is developing so fast at the fifth vision style that you need specialized and experts to guide you. So that is where a coach comes in very accurately. Everything is getting analyzed and researched in depth. Every topic, every sector, and every niche area of our life cycle is getting specialized in its own way. So this is an era where a person cannot say, I know everything. The minute you touch that topic, you have so much to learn, and one lifetime is less. So the easiest way and the quickest way in all this labyrinth is find a suitable coach and let him do the guidance so that you reach your target at a much faster rate than if you would have tried to do it or understand what you have to achieve. So this is my concept of why you need a coach in your life at any stage of your life for each and every sector that you want to enrich yourself and enhance your capabilities. So this is my take on a coach.
I completely agree with that, and very well said. There's a very clear return on investment when it comes to hiring a coach. You save time, you make better decisions, to reach your goals faster. And a coach will always also help you see your blind spots, right? Like Miss Maya very correctly said, when you think you know everything, that's where you're making the biggest mistake, right? That's where you're stalling your success because you cannot possibly know everything. Having a growth mindset, having a learner's mindset is what takes you forward. Mr. Yuvraj, what do you think?
Yes, I surely agree with all the thoughts. And let me admit that I am also having a coach from last 2 years, and every weekend I get in touch with him. He's mentoring me. He's giving some feedbacks. And from last 2 years, I can see a great impact in my life in terms of my health, in terms of my wealth, in terms of my education, as well in terms of my career. So I can vouch for it. If you have a coach, your growth paths become faster. Another reason is, he's looking from a different perspective. What I can see, what he can see, I cannot see. Probably he's having a much more vision. He's having multiple people's. Probably I don't have that connection because I am always busy with my job, So probably he's giving me that particular direction so that my direction, my thought process is absolutely clear, and I have to go and grab that opportunity. So I would say that what coach is doing is, he's just he's fastening your growth. That is the important point I want to make it.
Great. I think we all agree on this particular subject. A little thing for the audience now. Audience and to our listeners, think about this. What is one goal that you've been stuck on for months? And ask yourself, could a coach have gotten you unstuck faster? Write this down and we'll circle back to it. Okay, this is for all of our listeners. Write this down. A goal that you've been stuck on for months and ask yourself, would a coach help you get there faster? Okay, now we move on to my next question for all of you. And here I'd like Miss Chavi to chime in. Okay. What would you say now are some of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to coaching? You know, people think that, oh, I can read a book and I can watch a YouTube video and that'll help me. Why spend money on a coach? What do you have to say about that, Miss Chavi?
Well, it's a very powerful question, and I think that this question is the need of the hour because having these, self-doubt and these self-talks. So what I feel is being into the industry for last almost 2 decades, I feel having a coach isn't a luxury. It's a necessity if you really want to accelerate your success. So, like you rightly said, look at sports legends like Michael Jordan or maybe Serena Williams. They had coaches who pushed them beyond their limit. I'm specifying here beyond their limits because we actually don't know our limits. They help us. And also, if you see in your everyday life, we rely on experts, maybe your GPS for directions, a recipe for cooking, or maybe a mechanic for car troubles. Why so? So why go solo in the most important journey of your life? That is your self-development. I'm sure, a coach ensures your journey faster. Also, you see a measurable progress, helping you just break down your barriers. And he's always there, as your accountability partner. So I really feel that if you really want to unlock your full potential, go for a coach.
That's so well put. Having an accountability partner, somebody who spent so much time in this niche will be the one that's helping you. Like Miss Chavi here, she spent how much time, ma'am? How long have you been a coach? 2 decades.
It's been 2 decades.
Well, that's amazing. So, if somebody here needs guiding when it comes to parenting, and when it comes to their children, definitely Miss Chavi would be the one that we reach out to. Okay, Mr. Jaswant, what is your thought on the matter? Do you think that, this is a big misconception that people have? Can you, get to your top level by just reading a book or a self-help YouTube video?
Thank you, Anika. Thank you so much. So just to add on to Shavi, as she mentioned already, that people are so much expert in their own field and there is a myth that they can do everything. Okay, so just to give you my example itself, that I'm having 2+ decades of experience in financial domain, right? And I was just thinking that why I'm not growing where my lot of friends are already grown to some CFO level or CEO level somewhere. Okay, I was getting feedback from my teams that I'm too much expert in my field. I'm too good in from if I compare with the CFO, that feedback I got from CFO itself. Okay, but then I was realizing that why I'm not getting to some further level up there. Then I was thinking, okay, there are some areas I'm lacking. I am expert in only one domain, but that is not only required thing. There are a lot of other things I have to gain as a knowledge, as a skill set, and there it comes that personality or personalized guidance I need from somebody. And where I thought, okay, that's coach is very important, who can guide you as a personalized guide and coach you where what are the area where you have to improve, what are your core skill and what are the skills you require to improve, what are the areas of improve where you have to work upon and improve on so that you can reach out to a level where you want to. So that's how I think coach is very, very important, and it's a necessity, as earlier empanelment one of our member had said that. That's how I see. Yeah. And then especially when we think of Bill Gates, as you already mentioned before, when you started, they also having a coaches there, like Steve Jobs, the Apple earlier CEO, he was also having coaches there. So that's how we need the coaches to reach a level. It's not like a luxury. It's a necessity as of today.
Very good. I
Yeah.
think that's very nicely said, that having or getting a coach is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And the same point was reiterated by Ms. Chavi as well. I would also like to point out in our chat, Mr. Nikunj here has said something very, very valuable. He said that, we need a plan when we talk about success, when we're talking about setting goals. We can make that plan by reading books and watching videos, but it doesn't guarantee a result. You can do the homework, but you can't guarantee the result. I think that's such a valuable feedback. And thank you, sir, for being so participative. Now, on to my last question for all of you for this particular segment, and then we move on to office politics. Let's talk about one tangible win you've had because of your coaching. We also call it PASS in our Star Performer course. What has been your one tangible result with PASS or PASS so far with Mr. Sanjeev Datta? Let's see one by one a short little idea of what you think it should be. I'll start with Mr. Sachin Khurana first.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's been a beautiful ride till now. In fact, I've learned so much from Mr. Datta, in fact, already, and there's a whole lot of knowledge to attain from him. And in fact, I always wanted to share more knowledge. In fact, I've worked as a groomer with HCL Computers and a couple of other corporates as well earlier. But the whole plethora is so huge, to share. And there's so many topics that you can share with people.
Yeah.
And I want to just share something, in fact, that, I'm on the verge of signing an international deal. The contract's already on the way. I think that is because of the course as well. That course has given me a good, confidence to be a part of it. And once that eventually happens, I'll obviously share that here.
Absolutely. We look forward to that. And, I won't congratulate you just yet. We'll
Yes.
wait for the contract to come in. That's amazing, Sachin. Thank you for sharing that with us. Mr. Yuvraj, go ahead.
Yeah.
One tangible win.
Yeah, one tangible win I could say is, I started making more networks. Earlier, I used to say, why should I do? There is no need. But because of all those last 1 month of grooming and all, I'm just 1 month old here. But I understood what is the importance of grooming and networking and all these things. Because of that, I have now 4-5 good connections whom I am learning also. Plus, they are also giving some kind of knowledge. So I would say networking is the thing which I got to understand the importance of it.
Okay, wonderful. So networking for Mr. Yuvraj here. Ms. Chavi, go ahead.
Well, it's been a really beautiful journey with Sanjeev sir, and it has been really transformative for me. The kind of mindset he's given me, and what I feel here is what was lacking in my case personally is pushing beyond the comfort zone. I'd always just sometimes you don't want to take that initiative, And with Sir, what I did was I started my own podcast, which was there on my list, on my goal list, on my card since I think almost a year. But yes, I think that initiative, Sir's guidance really, really helped me. So here I am, started my own podcast, and thank you so much. I'm really grateful to him.
And what is your podcast called?
It's Choti Kalam Bade Sapne. So where we encourage small kids to share their stories with the world.
Wow. All right.
Thank
That's
you so much.
amazing. I'm so happy for you, and the fact that we're able to push you to take this step. That's amazing. All right, Mr. Jaswant, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anika. And Ms. Chavi already said my mind. Actually, I have so much to say, but she already said everything. So just to add my experience there, I have so many change in myself over this period. I have so many tangible experience I've gained over the period. And just to take one last example, recently, in last week itself, when I was handling a corporate internal audit for my organization. So I was dealing with different auditors. It was 6-7 auditors from different countries, Singapore, Germany, and our corporate head office. So what earlier, when the audit starts for 5 years back, there I was too working in silos. I was too sitting on my seat, not interacting with so much. They are coming with the queries. But this time, I specially called each and every auditor, first interacted with them, what is their expectation from the audit. And when the audit started, they were just like a normal colleague working together. And it was so beautifully and smoothly went through. And we just finished yesterday. And everybody was praising that we are so happy working with Jaswant, that he guided us so well. He gives us every response and explanation, whatever we need from the auditor. So we are just finalizing this on Monday, and hopefully everything will go well. That's what I did this and understood from working with the Sanjeev sir classes. Thank you.
That's amazing. And I can definitely see that natural instinct for coaching in you. You know, you seem like a natural coach, somebody that naturally likes to help people and extend himself. So I think this is the perfect rite of passage for you. Okay, moving on to Ms. Chakravarti. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, one pass what I would like to explain here is uh, Sanjeev Datta ji has brought out the positive side of us. By birth, all of us are self-critics. We are the best critics for ourselves. But
Definitely.
here he has made us come out to identify our positive aspects of personality and to focus on that. There's a lot of negativity, but for us to focus on our positive side will enhance our personality manifold and at the shortest time. So this is my take. I think he has made us come to a cohesive atmosphere, a platform where all of us are speaking so nicely about not only ours, about the attributes that they have gained. I'm sure it's going to help each and everyone in their different aspects of life, whoever is attending this podcast or the classes. So this is take for me from this personality school.
That's
Sorry.
amazing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and I think that was heartwarming as well as very, very enlightening to hear all of your very, very positive comments. At this point, I think I'd like to segue into our second topic, which is how to deal with office politics. Now, this has been a hot topic, a hot request from all of our attendees, and I think people are really, really curious to hear our panelists' views on how can you deal with office politics, right? It's a wild world and it can also make or break your careers, right? So we've all been there at some point. Let me ask the panelists now, what would you say is one situation where office politics tripped you up a little early in your career, and what did you learn from it? So a personal experience, if you can provide us, along with your learning from that experience, I think would be very valuable for our viewers. If anybody would like to volunteer their experience, you can raise your hand from the panelists. Mr. Yuvraj, did you have something to say?
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
So when I joined initially my corporate career, I was a little bit skeptical, how to approach people and all these things. And later on, when I got confidence, I am showing little different skill set, but at the same time, somebody else is getting benefit out of it. And then what has happened is I was not able to understand because I am having a skill set, but still the person is getting favoritism, or let's say things are getting manipulated for his growth and all these things. So what I did is, instead of getting that negativity or that toxic zone, what I did is I started focusing again on myself. Instead of focusing on others, I started focusing on myself. I started enhancing the skills which is required for my job. I started taking initiatives. I started eating other job basically, so that I become a master in my domain. And finally, what has happened is I stand out. I stand out of the crowd, and finally, I got more opportunities rather than those manipulations or let's say any favoritism. So what my experience is that if I focus on myself, if I focus on my team's growth, and if I focus on my organization growth, probably the office politics won't be able to hit you anywhere, because finally the organization objectives, even the boss or even the management wanted organization to go ahead. So this is my experience, and probably till now, I'm just focusing on myself and organization growth. It has never become a roadblock for me as an office politics. Thank you.
Wonderful. And I think what I take away from what Mr. Yuvraj said is that we need to get out of a victim mentality, right? Instead of thinking to ourselves, oh, why is this happening to me? You think, what can I do about it? Right? That is the mindset shift that we need to bring in whenever dealing with office politics. What can I do about it? And that's exactly what Mr. Yuvraj did as well. He thought, I can't control anybody else's actions. What I can control is my work, my mastery, my visibility, and my strategy. And that's what I'm taking away. Very, very well done, Mr. Yuvraj. And I think that's why you're at the place you are right now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I would like also Mr. Sachin to weigh in here because I know the industry that you come from, there's a lot of ego, a lot of, well, I think it's best if you would probably go ahead and tell us, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I've not really worked in a proper corporate ever in my life as such, but I understand how it functions because I think every workplace has similar scenarios and similar rules. There will be people who are favored in office, regular office, or for that matter, in a particular role that you get. You could be as good as them, but there will be a certain factor why were they preferred. It's very important to understand that again and not play the victim mindset. Like people say it's nepotism. It's some son's daughter, or this one somebody has got the job. In fact, I'll tell you about an incident. In fact, there was a film a few years ago where there were three people. Out of them, one supposed to play Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's son in a film. Yeah. So I remember we were all shortlisted to be the actor to play his son. But eventually I didn't get the job. And I was really sad at that time that why didn't I get that job? That would have got me to a different level of my career and, would have changed everything around me and stuff like that, etc., etc. But then I came back one night and I sat to myself, why did this happen in the first place? Was my acting a scenario that wasn't that good that I didn't get the job? Or who got the job? Why did that person get the job in the first place? So I understood that fact that the producer and Mr. Bachchan somewhere knew that person and heard of that person. So we have to understand the fact that networking is very important in every sphere of life. It is, okay, I'm great at my job. I do a fabulous, everything, that's fine. I have a decent theater background as well. But then if I would have known them before, because there's a certain recall value of someone, a certain connect that you've already made while networking. That really helps. So networking in any sphere of life, in fact, in corporate life or my life for that matter, is essential.
Absolutely. And again, what I take away from that, and that's such an astute observation, your network is like your armor, everybody. You have to build it before you need it, right?
Yeah.
That's what we take away from this. You have to build your network before you need it. And that's why networking is so important. Only talent will not get you very far in your industry. It's a couple of, it's different things all together that get you where you need to be. Thank you, Mr. Khurana. That was amazing. What great learnings you've provided today. I move it on to Mr. Jaswant. So what are your thoughts? What has your experience been?
Yeah. So I have a lot of experience, Anika. So over the period, because I have worked with various organizations, from last 10 years, I have been mostly reporting into either CEO or at C-suite level. Okay. So in one of my company, I have a very bitter experience there. I was victim of this politics there. So just to give an example, because I was reporting into MD there, okay, and there was something happened, and MD has done something wrong there, and then I had to report against the MD to my global CFO there. So then what happened? The CFO and the finance team and the operation team become two groups there. Okay, so it was become a groupism. Then I have to be on the, because at that time I was not so equipped or so mature that I don't be part of any group. but I had to because I was immature that time. So I was part of group CFO that, okay, MD has done something wrong, and we did a lot of verification or investigation there. And finally, we found that he was culprit of doing something wrong. But he was so influential that he went up to the global CEO and he was able to manage the situation. And finally, we become victim of that situation. And me and my global CFO had to resign there. So I have that such kind of bad experience doing with this office politics there. And if I'll go this or I take this as a lesson learned, and with this my current company, I'm very much equipped with or having understanding with each and every team member, that they know me personally. I am very professional with each and every one. I always focus on my performance. Okay, and I give guidance to everybody as a friend. So it's not that I am going with a group sometimes. I always open with everyone without having any kind of this groupism there. So that's how I even understand from uh, Miss Maya as well, that she also suggested that we should not be having any groups things. That's very, very important, that we have to be open with everyone, and then give whatever guide you can give to everyone. So sometimes I hear from some of colleagues about some other colleague that he's not good at. Then I communicate with that colleague and understand his perspective, and I feel, oh, that guy is too good. Actually, it's only the some others perspective about him. So that's how I relate or I coordinate with every one of my team member, different function heads, and everybody is just like me as a friend of there. So that's how I feel that we should stay away from this politics. Yeah, that's my
That's such an
experience there.
important experience that you've told us about, Mr. Jaswant Singh, and thank you for being so honest and vulnerable. And I think that because that experience where you had to resign, I think we can all learn so much from, and I'm sure you have as well. It's so important to be neutral when it comes to, you can't be picking sides.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to need. So it's always very important whenever there is groupism, whenever there is some kind of an escalation, to be neutral, to always listen to both sides, not give too much of your opinion, stay neutral, and focus on your work. Thank you so much, Mr. Jaswant Singh. Ms. Chavi, I see your hands up. What is your experience?
So when I feel like office politics is inevitable, and but the whole idea is, the beauty is how you handle it defines your success. We have these jitters, we have these frictions at all fronts. Maybe it's home front, maybe it's work front. My take back here is communication. If you communicate clearly and confidently, I feel chances of misunderstandings are going to be really, really less. So always clarify your stance and then move ahead. I've been into education domain, so I've realized that a lot of friction used to happen just because the message sometimes wasn't clear. And my take back here is communicate clearly and confidently so that the other person also understands, and it's crystal clear. You know what you do, and you know what you don't do. So I think that really reduces a lot of conflict here.
Very well said. And I think also, in addition to what Ms. Chavi has said, I think documenting your contributions is always very, very good when it comes to, coming with receipts, right? When your work is questioned, when, you're dealing with favoritism or gossiping or credit stealers, it's always good to always document your contributions, document what value you've been providing to your company every single day. And this is something, in fact, that I learned from my coworkers, in Canada, because that's the way that they work there. Always have receipts, right? So that's something that I'm able to provide to you from my work experience in Canada. Okay, I'm also going to be taking a few questions from the chat here and leaning upon your expertise, our panelists, to see if you wanted to answer some of these questions. Mr. Mithun Panikar has asked, how do we manage gossiping at the workplace, and how do we deal with that? Does anybody want to volunteer an answer?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Maya Chakravarti, please go ahead.
Yeah, from my experience, I was in a transferable job. So every few years, when you go to a new place, you find this people are already divided into different groups, maybe on regionalism, on language, linguistic or cultural backgrounds. They tend to pool together. So when you land there newly, so they will want to take you to each of their groups. Oh, you are from here. Okay, come. This is our group this way. So in the first week, you need to be very polite with everybody, or rather till you settle down and understand the nitty-gritty of your office routine. Better accept everybody's invitation, visit everybody at their place, but gradually come back to your focus. Start giving the message that you are not interested in this. Anything related to the work, to the job, show full interest. If they indulge in other things, then gradually go silent. This is a polite way of conveying that you are not that interested into these things. So this way, over a period of time, because you are already under the scanner, but both with your colleagues, your juniors, and your seniors, they will understand down the line that yes, this officer is somebody who is not interested in these things and is much focused on the job. So such elements will start moving away from you, and you have much more time to contribute to your work, and consistency is what will take you up. Whatever you are doing, consistently keep doing the good work, and you will be recognized by everybody at your level, at the junior level, at the senior level. And when an opportunity comes, when the seniors have to pick you up for a coveted post or a target or a project, you will be the first choice. This I have experienced personally, where there were seniors to me, there were juniors to me who were looking more popular, but it was me who was chosen among so many equal rank officers. So I can tell for those who are asking that how to avoid gossip is just be silent. Over a period of time, they will come to know that you are not interested in this type of topics. And during your break times, the lunch time, the tea time, and all, keep upgrading your skills or knowledge in the relevant subjects. Keep yourself occupied in other ways so that they will know, oh, this officer is not interested in this type of gossips. So this is one way. And I think I had read one Miss Amrita had asked how to deal with those people who put you down or grab your opportunity. For
Right.
her, I would like to say, be consistent with your performance. हिंदी में कहते हैं देर सवेर पहचान तो होगी. You will
Well
be
said.
recognized. You will be recognized. Just wait for the right time to come. The seniors will identify your good qualities that is contributing to the goodness of your organization. So
Great.
this is my take on that.
A lovely experience. Let's give it up for Ms. Chakrabarti here.
Thank you.
But I think it all comes back to your results. Numbers don't lie. So everything, when you bring it back to your results, to the work, to the value that you've been providing, you will get recognized. And I would also like to point out something wonderful that Ayman, in fact, has written in the chat. She says, focus on loving your job or work rather than the workplace itself. I think that's such a good point. Love your job, love what you do. Don't, fall in love with the workplace. That's such a good point, Ayman. Thank you so much for saying that. Okay. Let's see if there's any other things that people have asked. Okay. Sachin, I believe, has already answered this. How do you handle lack of transparency or favoritism? If any panelists would like to answer that question, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, so Yuraj here, transparency is one of the things which we generally face. Now, one solution which I practice generally is, as you said, write down the credit, whatever the achievements or whatever the contribution is there. always document. So what happens when the opportunity comes, you have so much of things to show instead of nothing. So every quarter, you can send an update. You can send a newsletter, what you have done every quarter, every 6 months, or every year. And probably within at the time of appraisal, you can say, I have done so much of thing, and this is a proof. This is how you can do that thing. Second important thing is about transparency is, you can ask for group meetings. You can call group meetings. Not necessarily that boss can call. You can call for a group meetings, and probably in that case, you can take one topic, which is a burning topic in office, and you can present that. This is how you can be you can show that you're taking good initiative for the organization, and that is how the transparency can be easily seen by the seniors, that he's the person instead of X person who's actually showing he has done, but he's the person who's actually demonstrating live instead of just taking out of this thing. He's demonstrating live. So I would say recording through an email or newsletter. And second important thing is taking some kind of initiative for meeting and taking the discussion ahead. That would definitely make you stand out of the crowd.
Very, very well said. And I think that sums up everything that we've been talking about today. That's very well answered, Mr. Yuvraj. Now for our audience, I have something for you to do again. You have to think of a tricky coworker that you'd like to handle, or a toxic boss that you're dealing with right now. What is one small move based on our discussion, whatever you've listened to and learned through this podcast? What is one small move that you will make this week to shift that dynamic? Let's write it down, everyone. We're all about action here. We're all about results. We're all about taking initiative. So everybody take that initiative and write it down. What is one small move you are going to make this week to shift that dynamic between, an annoying coworker or a toxic boss? Let's write it down. For our panelists, I think it's time that we close the session. And before we close it, however, I would love to hear from you. A little lightning round is what we're going to do. Give us your number one tip or motivational message for our listeners in as brief as possible. Tell us, your quick gems that you would like to give our listeners. Let's start with Mr. Jaswant Singh.
Yeah, thank you, Anika. So I have a brilliant quote which I've learned. Okay, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. So if you love what you are doing, you will be always successful. That's a quote from Albert Schweitzer. And I see in my life as well. Because earlier when I was thinking of myself, I was into different tangent. But now while I joined Sanjeev Datta classes, and I always feel, oh, happy, happy, happy. So that's how I realize myself, even increase in energy, happiness. Now I'm moving in that tangent. And then the last sentence, which will love your work. Not that you, as you also said, don't love your office, but love your work. If you love your work, definitely you will be successful.
Very well said. Thank you. All right, Ms. Chavi Mehta, your final gems for all of us today.
Well, it's rightly said that growth isn't about what you know. It's about how willing you are to learn. It's about how willing you are to unlearn. And it's about how willing you are to relearn. We all are lifelong learners. So keep investing in yourself, because the best investment you'll ever make is in your own growth. So happy learning.
Amazing. I think that one we should write down. The best investment you will ever make is in yourself. All right, Ms. Maya Chakravarti, your final gem for us today.
Yeah, the one thing I would like to say, as Mr. Sanjeev Datta has told, he always have, give the impression that you're a die-hard optimistic person. Never show your negativity, because it spreads very fast. So whatever you're feeling, be there, show up, and have an optimistic approach, and that is contagious. I feel so. So
absolutely. Very
life
well
is full of ups and downs, but be optimistic. And I have always been told that I'm a die-hard optimist person.
So, and we can see that on your face as well, ma'am.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And you know what? I think we read about this in psychology, since that's my background. As humans, we're wired to be negative, right? Negativity and criticism comes very easily to us because it's very closely tied into our survival instincts. We're, programmed to look at, okay, this is something that's wrong in this situation. Let me fight or flight. Okay. But that's why positivity takes conscious effort. It takes optimism takes conscious effort, right? So everybody be consciously optimistic in your lives, and definitely it'll be very contagious. Because negativity, as Maya Chakravarti ma'am very rightly said, is more contagious than positivity. Positivity takes consciousness. Okay, moving on to Mr. Sachin Khurana, your final gem for us, sir.
I would agree with what you guys have been talking about right now, the positive mindset. It is not easy. It is not easy at all. There will be small things which are not even considered the topic that you are speaking about or dealing with, which will just put you off track. Very small thing. And it takes a very mindful thinking mind to understand that, and that helps when you meditate. But that helps when you centralize your mind. It's said that if you don't control your mind will control you. If what do you want in life, in your favor or against you? It's a choice.
Very well said. Learn how to control your mind before your mind can control you. That's amazing. All right. And who am I missing? Mr. Yuvraj,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So final thing I would like to say is, life is all about growth, and growth happens if you take action. So probably if you focus on your action, nothing matters, because your dream is there, your goal is there, and the action will take you definitely one day or the other day to a top. Thank you.
All right. Now, that was amazing. And thank you so much to our wonderful panelists. The conversation was sparkling. I had so much fun. And I hope our listeners had a lot of fun as well. If you did, please send us in the chat what you thought of this particular podcast. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to make it even better. If there's certain topics you would like us to focus on, please mention them in the chat as well. And I would love to hear all of your responses. All right. So for those of you that are interested in either the Thought Leader Coach Consultant course or hiring a coach, just send us your name and number in the chat along with your requirements, and our team will reach out to you.